They were awesome. They loved their children.
My dad and I were very close. We would do everything together. He would come and see all of my games. Our family was super fun, and my dad was involved in everything we would do. We were really, really close. The reason he was even at the golf course that day was because he was at a fundraiser for my younger sister's softball team.
The day of Nick's accident, everything changed just like that.
He was riding on the back of a golf cart with some of his friends. He fell off and just cracked his head open.
They went from having fun, going to all these events, to then being in the emergency room, being in the ICU, having to go and watch their father after neurosurgery.
His accident changed my life in every way possible. With school, with sports, it just changed everything. And it changed my mom's life for the absolute worst.
Well, Kathy says Elisa began drinking excessively the night of Nick's golf cart accident and just never stopped.
Right after Nick's accident, I was there with Elisa. I first noticed Elisa acting strangely after Nick was transferred to a hospital a few hours away. I saw her in a hotel around 10:30. She was in a cocktail dress, drinking and smoking and acting like she was having a good time. Meanwhile, Nick was laying in his hospital bed a few blocks away. Elisa wasn't acting like this just a few weeks prior. When he died, everything came apart. She went from doing everything to starting to drink out of control, chain smoking out of control, and I'm sure that she was doing some drugs. She would leave the kids for a couple days at a time and nobody would know where she was. The kids started calling me and texting me at night, letting me know that Elisa wasn't home. The kids would tell me that she was at a local bar. My biggest fear is that she would drink and drive, and that's when I turned into the private investigator. I would pass by the bar and see that her car was in the parking lot, and then sometimes I would call the police on her and have them come watch the car because I knew that she was going to get in the car and drive home. Another time the kids contacted me and told me that she hadn't been home since the night before. I ended up turning in a missing persons report. In her mind, she's totally fine, but she's totally spiraling out of control. Elisa got a concussion 2 weeks ago. She had gotten really drunk and she had fallen asleep outside on the bench, and when she went to get up, she fell down and hit her head. The old Elisa wouldn't be at the bars during the daytime. She wouldn't be there at nighttime. She would be at home helping her kids with homework, cooking, doing laundry. If Elisa doesn't change, she's going to end up dead, or other people are going to end up dead. And then her children are going to be raised by somebody else. And then they would have lost both of their parents.
Well, Nick clung to life for a couple of difficult years, and Elisa's family says that when her husband passed away, her drinking and partying just became an obsession.
Once he passed away, the drinking really got worse.
Currently, my mom and I aren't even talking. She's mad at me for telling my family that she has a drinking problem. My mom thinks we're blowing the whole entire thing out of proportion.
When Elisa drinks, she gets very flirtatious. She's admitted that she has multiple partners.
Every time I've been home recently, my mom's had a different guy over staying the night. I don't like my brother and sister being exposed to that kind of behavior.
She's not acting appropriately as a grieving mother, especially in the eyes of her children.
2 nights in a row, we had to take her away from a bar because she was incapable of driving safely.
My mom always drinks and drives. I had to help her get out of the car because she's so drunk.
Elise sees no problem with staying out all night because she's home by 5 or 6 in the morning to get the kids up and ready to go to school.
Last weekend, my younger brother and sister stayed at my best friend's house because they didn't feel safe at our own house because my mom had random people over.
All the kids have had issues with her drinking, with her men.
It's like my mom's become a teenager again, and my younger sister and I have to be her mom.
I think this is going to be a major challenge for Dr. Phil. She knows when people are trying to convince her to do something she doesn't want to do. I think he's in for a fun day.
Well, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Let me start by saying I'm very sorry for your loss. Really, I know this has been very difficult for everyone that's experienced this. What do the younger kids say to you?
That they're scared of being there, that they don't want to be there, that they want their real mom back.
And what is it that's scaring them?
She has random guys over, and she always is drinking and driving.
And you say that she fell 2 weeks ago and got a concussion.
Yes.
Was she drunk at the time?
Yes.
Okay, joining us in the audience is Elisa's friend Jamie and her sister-in-law Stephanie. You guys have been watching this as well.
Yeah.
Now, Jamie, you were with her last night, right?
Yes.
What happened? You said last night was just insane.
It was insane. She would not, I have not slept. She was in and out, calling people at midnight, 1, 2, and then all of a sudden she's announced, I'm going to the ER. For what? I'm throwing up and I have diarrhea, and I'm all, that I haven't witnessed that.
Okay, this was her second trip to the ER since she's been here, right?
Yeah.
I have 2 pages of notes regarding Elisa's behavior since arriving in Los Angeles, including wrestling my staff members to the floor, grabbing a hotel guest in the pool inappropriately, trying to kiss my driver. So let's take a break, and I want to come back and talk to these folks for a minute.
She pulled a cup from her purse, and when she started drinking it, it smelled like alcohol. If you could just stop touching me, that'd be awesome, bro. Refrain from touching me while I'm driving.
Dude, you're blowing it so big time.
And later...
What would you do if you were in that situation? You can all judge me? I really don't give a shit. So what would you do different, Mr. Dr. Bill? Bring it.
Monday, lured from a college tailgate party.
He laughed while he was raping me.
You had injuries.
Part of my mouth had been ripped open.
The secret tape.
Did you guys have sexual sex?
Do you think the call was a setup?
He almost got away with it.
I believe he had been raping someone every weekend.
But then a dramatic takedown.
We walked on the airplane right up to him and said, stand up, you're under arrest.
Then on Tuesday,
I am not abusing my daughter. I am disciplining her.
You said I had her pinned down, screaming at her, punching the floor. You've lost control.
all new Dr. Phil, Tuesday.
You've heard it on the national.
Well, we've been talking to Elisa's family and friends who are very concerned with her out-of-control behavior ever since she lost her husband 2 years ago in a tragic accident. Elisa has been backstage chatting up my staff. She has been up all night drinking and carrying on, taking my producers along for the ride. Now, speaking of rides, her trip to Los Angeles, well, it was just over the top. Let's take a look because we videotaped part of that.
I've been working for the Dr. Phil show for about 5 days now, and that is when I picked up Elisa. Elisa got into my car with her 11-year-old son. About a half hour into that trip, she switched sides in the van to sit right behind me. She pulled a cup from her purse, and when she started drinking it, it smelled like alcohol. If you could just stop touching me, that'd be awesome, bro. Yeah, for the duration of the ride, if you could. I told her to stop making these advances, pretty much stop making contact with me.
Can't hear you loud and clear, 10-4, big chicken.
Told her again, please don't touch me. Refrain from touching me while I'm driving. The second or third time, she actually attempted to kiss me on the cheek.
Dude, you're blowing it so big time.
An hour into our trip, she asked me if I could pull over so she could get out and throw up. Yeah, we can stop for you.
Yeah, please.
And after she had thrown up, she just passed out.
He's had an interesting first week. And you can see she's out of control here. She's not an evil person. She's not a bad person, but she's lost control here. And this is impacting a lot of lives, right? It's impacting y'all's lives, you. It's impacting these 2 young children at home. And bringing these strange men into the home, let me tell you something. Take a look at this graphic that I've put together. This has to do with sex abuse risk. If you have non-biological married parents, the sex abuse risk for children in the home goes up 9 times. If you have a biological parent of a child, which we do here, that's unmarried, it goes up 5 times. A single parent that's bringing a man into the home, it goes up 20 times normal. The risk of sexual abuse goes up 20 times normal. So she's drunk, which means she's not being vigilant in watching what's happening with her children. What could possibly go wrong here? You have a drunk, non-vigilant mother bringing in characters at night into the home with 2 minor children. Is this not a formula for disaster? This cannot continue. I can't let this continue. I'm a mandated reporter. I cannot allow this to go on. These 2 gentlemen right here, I flew in today just for her. They're from Origins. And Origins is, in my opinion, the top treatment center for what she needs. They're a dual diagnosis treatment center that deal with addiction, alcoholism, and the comorbid disorders that go along with that, whether it's depression or whatever. These things are treated simultaneously here. So this is Ben Levinson and T.J. Howard here. These are the men that run what I believe to be the top program in the country. It's my intention that she leave here with these gentlemen today. She can do that willingly, or we can call a mobile response team and have her 5150'd and do whatever's necessary. Are we all of that?
We are.
Yes.
Mind?
Absolutely.
Bonnie, we good? Finished, did we? All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, Elisa is going to join us, and we're going to talk to her. We're going to see what she thinks, and she's certainly going to hear what I think. We'll be right back. You then tried to grab a man's genitals.
That's not true. I thought he was naked.
Well, if you thought he was naked, why would you be trying to touch him?
I wanted to see if he had clothes on or not.
And later,
I can take care of myself. I take care of 4 children, run a household, mow my own lawn.
are you done?
I use heroin every couple hours. I would rather feed my drug habit than my unborn child.
My sister. How could you do this to a baby?
It gets worse.
Right now, she is really high.
Stop the tape. You're either going to watch this and get in the game, or you're out.
I never had guilt or second thoughts after my first time with Amanda. She was about 12 years old.
Part of me knew that this was not the way that fathers love their daughters.
Your mother videotapes this.
Yes. How could you? Watch him do those things to me to participate, even.
He groomed you.
So did you. Let her talk. Amanda, you haven't seen your father since you were 13 years old.
You feel like you've done nothing wrong.
20 years ago, these kind of things were joked about.
Are you kidding me? Molesting your daughter was wink, yuck, yuck in 96? That is complete and utter bull. Plus, he has hit rock bottom again.
Survivor Todd returns.
Are you trying to drink yourself to death?
I'm still living it, but I don't want to.
He's having seizures.
He had 12 yesterday, 2 today.
And 1 strikes during the show.
The newest technology in eyeglasses is here. Digital lenses exclusively at iMart. See clearer and crisper than ever before at no additional cost.
As I said, Elisa has not been listening to the show so far. As we walk her from backstage, let's listen to what she says about her husband's tragic accident.
Nick was my best friend, my biggest supporter, and he was always there for me. Nick was in an accident. He fell off the back of the golf cart and hit his head on the golf cart path and cracked it open and was knocked unconscious. When I got to the hospital, they were wheeling him in on a stretcher, and he was covered in blood. They told me they were taking him in for an emergency surgery to stop the swelling of his brain. Nick was in an induced coma for about a month. When he woke up, he was moving his right arm and his right leg, and he could wave. We just thought he was going to be okay. In July of last year, he was transferred to a long-term acute care facility. So he was 75% better. He could even talk. We started talking about renewing our wedding vows and getting remarried. On his birthday, the doctors told me that Nick wasn't doing very well. He wasn't responding. He wasn't waking up. He was running a 101 temperature, and that they wanted to take him for another emergency brain surgery. Nick passed away a few months later. He died November 11th, 2015. The long-term care facility called me 2 a.m. and said that Nick had died, and I had 24 hours to remove his body. So I told him, give me a minute. I just needed time to process it in my own way. It made me angry that they didn't have enough compassion that they could even wait a day and they give me time to grieve. I was mad at them. I'm mad that my husband's gone. I'm mad that I have to be the one to tell my kids that he's dead. No one tells you how to do that.
Lisa, it's good to meet you. As I've said to your family members here, I want to first say I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
What did you say to yourself when you got that phone call?
Nothing really. I just had to kind of breathe, and I had to kind of like, man up. Like, it's me now. I got 4 kids I got to raise.
So have you felt really alone in this?
Yeah. But I'm strong. I can handle it.
The grieving process is very different. People go through it in different ways, and I've always said that the length and breadth of how you grieve is not reflective of the length and breadth of how much you loved. I mean, if somebody grieves for 3 years, that doesn't mean they loved someone more than somebody that grieves for 3 months. Everybody's different. Do you feel like you have grieved? Have you had the time, or are you fixed in time?
No, I was married 20 years to my best friend. So I think in maybe 20 years I'll quit grieving. I don't know. Never did it before, so.
So you're not sure you know how to do it?
No, I know how to do it. It's just hard. It's painful. It's agonizing. It's suffering that nobody really wants to go through. But no, I do it every day. I just breathe in, and some days I cry, some days I laugh, sometimes I do both.
You made some statements about your grieving and about how you were doing it. You said coping with pain is hard. I'm not strong. You said I drink every day to deal with the pain. I started drinking the day Nick died. Now I drink every night. I don't think I'm an alcoholic. 3 weeks ago, I blacked out, fell down and hit my head. I had a pretty bad concussion. Since then, I've tried to drink less. I've been smoking a little weed just to take the edge off. My family doesn't understand my grief, and they don't support me. My dad thinks I'm an alcoholic. He visited me last week and told me I was an embarrassment, a horrible mother, and a bad role model for my children. I'm absolutely still grieving. I was married 20 years. I'll probably grieve another 20 years. It sounds like you're self-medicating with alcohol.
Yeah.
Does it help?
No. I have a concussion, post-concussive syndrome. I have been vomiting since September 24th. I went to the ER like 8 times. I was at the ER this morning, 2 a.m.
But you're continuing to drink.
I said I'd cut back. I drink sometimes I don't.
Well, I made another list of your, what I would call questionable behavior just on your way to the show.
Okay.
You appeared to be drunk when you were picked up, and you had your 11-year-old son with you. You were drinking out of a container that smelled like alcohol. You tried to rub the driver's back 3 times. You tried to kiss the driver. You had the driver pull over so you could vomit, and then you passed out in the car.
Yeah. That's day in the life of Elisa. Yeah. That's that happens to me. The driver was cute. What do you want me to do? I was just teasing. I wasn't really... I threw up because I have a concussion. Yeah, I shouldn't have drank. And then I passed out because I had no sleep the night before. You can all judge me. I really don't give a... So you put yourself there. And then you tell me, what would you do?
A kindergarten teacher does not act the way you've been acting. It's a problem.
Got into my car with her 11-year-old son. About a half hour into that trip, she switched sides in the van to sit right behind me. She pulled a cup from her purse, and when she started drinking it, it smelled like alcohol. could just stop touching me, that'd be awesome, though.
I hear you loud and clear, 10-4, big chicken.
Told her again, please don't touch me. Refrain from touching me while I'm driving. The second or third time, she actually attempted to kiss me on the cheek.
Dude, you're blowing it so big time.
Embarrassing.
Your 11-year-old son was in the car the entire time.
Yeah.
Did you see the look on his face?
Yeah, I did.
You had another interaction with my staff.
Put your phone down. Put your phone down. You can't put your phone down. There.
Thumbs down.
Okay, right now. Near me. First, tap out. Come on. Bring it. Boom.
I really need you to stop doing this.
All right, that's it. Come on, get your deal.
I gotta go. I need to get.
What's your thought about that?
I was wrestling. I didn't think that they were offended by that. I apologize.
Well, the fact that you didn't think that was inappropriate at the time tells me that your judgment is impaired.
Yeah?
You then got in the swimming pool and tried to grab a man's genitals.
That's not true. That is not true.
That's what you told my supervising producer.
No, I didn't. There was a man in the pool smoking a cigarette, and I said, can I have a puff of your cigarette? He goes, I'll give you a cigarette. So I swam toward him, and I thought he was naked because he had on yellow Speedo, which matched the same color as his legs. So I went like that to touch it, and I realized he had clothes on.
To touch it, what?
His leg with the spandex. And I said, I apologize. And I started laughing because I was embarrassed. I got out of the pool, and then I was asked to leave. I never touched genitalia.
You were asked to leave the pool.
He reported that I touched him inappropriately.
Why were you trying to touch him at all?
I don't know. It just, I thought he was naked. I thought it was weird.
Well, if you thought he was naked, why would you be trying to touch him?
I wanted to see if he had clothes on or not.
Did they kick you out of the ER?
No, I left voluntarily.
Where did we find you?
Restaurant bar. I was looking for where I was staying. I'm in downtown Los Angeles, walking, throwing up. Swear to God on the Holy Bible, I asked more than 15 people to give me a ride home. So I didn't have any money. My phone was dead.
You asked 15 strangers for a ride?
They were construction workers. And I said, could you get me a cab? Could you call my son? And nobody would let me use their phone.
You didn't know the name of the hotel?
The name of the hotel I was staying in?
That you're saying it?
No.
You knew your son was there alone?
Yeah, I left
Did you know that the guests called Child Protective Services?
No. Why don't people tell me that?
You weren't there.
I know. I was lost in Los Angeles. What would you do? What would you do if you were in that situation? You go to the ER with a dead phone and no name in my hotel, no money to my name. Then I walked all the way to the restaurant Bar and Grill where they were looking for where I had a reservation. The bartender came up, he said, can I get you a drink? I said, yeah, I'll have vodka and grapefruit. I had one drink. He charged my phone, and I grabbed my bags, and I was ready to go. And then this woman walked in that was, I guess, the manager or whatever. She said, are you planning on leaving without paying your bill? I said, do I look like someone who would walk out on my bill? Because I'm in sweatpants, and my hair isn't combed because I've been in the ER throwing up on the frickin' streets of Los Angeles. So I paid the bill. It was $18. I left a $100 tip. So I was having a pretty day before 9 a.m. So what would you do different, Mr. Dr. Phil? Bring it. Tell me what I on. Because apparently I don't know. I'm only 47. You know, I'm a college-educated woman who has taught kindergarten for 5 years. I can take care of myself. I take care of 4 children, run a household, mow my own damn lawn.
A kindergarten teacher does not speak the way you're speaking right now. Act the way you've been acting. It's a problem.
Are you done?
Let me get the scenario, okay? Your wife dies, and you watch her die in front of your eyes. Part of your heart dies, too. Then you wipe your tears off, walk out and face your children, but it's all going to be okay. Because I'm strong, and I'll take care of you.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. Lured.
While he was raping me.
The secret tape.
Did you guys have sexual sex?
Do you think the call was a setup?
That's Monday.
Closed captioning provided by... You asked me a question. Do you want me to answer it?
Hmm?
You said, what would I do different?
Yeah. No. Let me get the scenario, okay? So your wife dies, okay? November 11th, after 2 years of struggling. From her, you seeing her as a vibrant person, and then she loses 100 pounds. And then you go to the hospital 4 hours away, and you watch her die in front of your eyes. And every time you leave, part of your heart dies too. Then you go in the bathroom and you throw up. And you wipe your tears off, put your big girl panties on, walk out and face your children, and you tell them, you want ice cream? Because I want to make you happy right now. Because I know you just suffered seeing your dad like that. But it's all going to be okay. Because I'm strong, and I'll take care of you. And Daddy's going to make it. And then I go get him an ice cream or French fries or whatever the hell they want. And then I drive 4 hours home so that I could take everything out of the car by myself and do laundry, make dinner, get all my kids settled in, and then go to bed at 10 o'clock, get up the next morning to go to work. You do it. You can all judge me. I really don't give a I do not give a what anybody thinks about me, because you know what? I care about myself, and I know I'm up in heaven. God's looking out for me. And every tear I cry, he collects in a bottle, which is turned into jugs. Numerous jugs filled with my tears and my blood and my sweat and my suffering and my agony that I deal with every day. So you put yourself there, and then you tell me, what would you do? Because, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I just, one day at a time, I get up, I do the best I can do.
Can I answer your question?
Please.
First, I'll never tell you that I know how you feel. Because as you point out, I've never been through that. I've not lost my wife. I've not watched her waste away. And I've not had to go tell my boys that they've just lost their mother. And I can't imagine the strength you had to summon to do that. When you told me essentially what it did to you and how alone you felt during that time and what you had to face, I just want to thank you for caring enough to share that with me, because that you didn't have to do that, and I really thank you for sharing that with me. You asked me what I would do different. Because I haven't been through it, I don't know. What I do know is that you are here. And you can pretend that you don't want to be here, but you are here. And I think you're here because at some level you know that you need more help than you're getting. I don't respond to all the antics. I respond to what I know is in there, because I see the evidence of who you are in these terrific children. So that's what I respond to. You can cuss and all that all you want to, but I look at your children and know that you're a quality woman that came here for a reason. And I want to talk about that when we come back after the break.
A couple months ago, the family tried to intervene again, but it didn't work out too well.
Elisa kept yelling, "I'm not manic. I'm just trying to deal with grief. I'm just tired of dealing with it."
Starting a couple months ago, my mom started spending our money excessively. In the past month, she spent over 140 grand just in vehicles alone. The whole family has money coming in through the settlement that we got for my dad's accident, but my mom's blowing through it before she even has it.
Lisa's looking to buy a house for close to $800,000.
She's bought a bunch of expensive trips and cruises that are just unnecessary.
If Elisa was in her right mind, these decisions would be fine. But because she's not, they're not good decisions for her to be making.
Elisa says she's dealing with her husband's death the only way she knows how. Elisa's family says They voiced their concerns over her behavior, over her drinking, and it was a complete disaster. Take a look.
We had a couple interventions with my mom. The first was 2 years ago when my dad was still alive. That intervention really helped her, and she actually went and tried to get help.
She was there for maybe a week to 10 days, and then she checked herself out.
A couple months ago, the family tried to intervene again, but it didn't work out too well.
She told all of us to stay out of her life, that she was just fine. And that's basically the day that she stopped talking to us. Elisa kept yelling, "I'm not manic. I'm just trying to deal with grief. I'm just tired of dealing with it."
Elisa has told me she will never go to a rehab center again. She's not crazy. She's only bipolar, and she drinks a few beers. She doesn't need a rehab, and she will never go there to a nut house again, ever.
It's obvious these two interventions have not had a lasting effect on Elisa.
That's not the talk of a person who cares about their life and their children's lives.
Do you think you're spinning out of control?
Sometimes, yeah.
What do you think Nick would want for you?
Just what he always wanted, just for me to be happy. I wrote a little thing this morning when I was trying to mentally prepare to meet you, and so it was like the alphabet, because I'm a kindergarten teacher. Used to be anyway. These are Nick's qualities. A is amazing, adventurous. B, bold, brassy, beautiful, bodacious. C, caring. D, delightful, devoted husband, father, worker.
A lot of good things to say about him.
Gorgeous, happy, intelligent, jovial, kind, loving.
How long were y'all married?
20 years.
Why did you come here?
Because I was invited. Free hotel, jacuzzi, pool, food, car rides, Los Angeles, get to meet you. I think it will help my family. I think, I think we all struggle in our own ways. I think we all need our own type of counseling, our own issues dealt with. I know my 11-year-old struggles with sadness, and he used to be a little more extroverted than he is now. I know he's sad a lot. He still sleeps with me every night. He's my best friend now. He thinks he has to be the man, and he's 11. I mean, that's way too much weight on someone's shoulders.
You said you wanted to meet me.
Mm-hmm.
How's that going?
Pretty good so far.
Yeah.
I gave you a 10 out of 10.
Don't approach this as a television show. I do what I do, and then I've got the best team in television that takes what I do, and then they go cut it up and turn it into a television show. I just do what I do with you. I think that you are in the middle of a grief process, but I think you're grieving part-time because you've got 4 children. I do think you need treatment. I think you need and deserve to have a complete tip of your toe to top of your head workup and evaluation, hormonally, biochemically, neurologically, every possible way. And I have 2 gentlemen down here, Ben Levinson and T.J. Howard. Frank Lawless is not here, but I have consulted with him from the Psychoneuroplasticity Center in Dallas, Texas, and I want you to agree to submit to this multidisciplinary evaluation at the P&P Center, and I want you to submit to this dual diagnosis treatment. They have this program called Headwaters, and it's the most elite program within the Origins healthcare family, and it's catering to high net worth individuals, and the clinical complexities that come with fame and fortune, where addiction and trauma and other psychological disorders are a threat to their livelihood. I'm offering that to you as a gift to you and your family. Will you take that help?
Sure.
Deal? All right. A special thanks to all of my guests today, and a special thanks goes to Origin Headwaters, Ben Levinson and TJ Howard. If you or someone that you know is dealing or struggling, a loved one, log on to drphil.com. You can tell me about it. Thanks for being here. We will see you next time.
I have to be at court on Friday to get my settlement for $3.1 million. So if I don't go, I don't get my house.
The attorney is saying it's imperative that it happen on Friday. We care about her health. She needs to wait 6 months to get the money. Then, oh well, I want her on the plane.
You guys can get in the van?
No, but I told you I will go Friday. I made a promise that I would appear in court, and I'm not going to screw that up. Because I'm buying a house, it's contingent upon my settlement. So if I don't get my settlement Friday, then I can't buy the house.
But you can postpone it for just 3 weeks?
No, I'm not going today. I have to go to court. I'm not going to let my kids down, and I'm not going to not get my settlement because you want me to go to Florida. I said I will go. I will fly myself there. Okay?
I hear you, and that's what we're going to do. You win.
We exchange numbers.
We're going to take the risk with you.
All right.
And we're going to...
Watch me. Watch me succeed.